Installation on a new Ford Custom. This model was released in October 2023. So at the end of 2023, we have the new Ford Custom. And then from 2024 and onwards, of course, when we are going to attach the drilling templates to the rear door, if you are going to have an emergency release cable, you need to go up 15 centimeters on the door to the center of the drilling template so that we can easily pass a cable through the metal. The reason is that the lower part has too strong a sheet metal, which prevents you from getting through with the wire, and therefore we have to reroute it in the cavity, which we do not want to do. Today, the customer wants the lock at the bottom, and therefore we will not install an emergency release on this rear door. But if you are going to have an emergency button, you place it 15 centimeters above the center of the drilling template on the rear door. On the rear door, we move the drilling template 3 mm to the right. On the side door of the Ford Custom, we will move the drilling template 5 mm to the right on the door. This is something we have never done before on a car, but we will move from the black line all the way to the grey line so that the drilling will be positioned correctly here on the door. This must absolutely not be done on any car model other than a Ford Custom 2024 and onwards.
Even on this side door of the Ford Custom, the lock must be positioned at the bottom.
And that is so we can achieve a concealed installation for the end plate. There will be a post that then folds out, and then we have the air behind here for the 3 lower holes to set the rivets without any problems. If you go higher up, the holes will be visible into the body. It is possible to do the installation, but it will not be a concealed installation. And therefore we recommend that the lock is placed all the way at the bottom of the side door. When we apply the drilling template, we move the template 5 mm to the right, from the black line all the way to the grey line, and we keep it at the very bottom of the door due to the pillar and the fastening for the rivets. Once the drilling templates are in place, we mark the areas that should not be drilled, and on the side door we should not drill these 3 holes. On the rear door we will mark the spots that should not be drilled here, and those are the 2 holes we will skip. Bring a drill and prepare for the drilling. On the right rear door, we will drill at the center of all 4 markings. On the left rear door, we move 2 mm to the right for better clearance. On the side door, we drill in the middle of all 3 markings on the door side. When we corner for the final finish, we corner a little inward and a little downward for better play. Cut the holes so that you can open the doors while you work. Use a smaller drill when pre-drilling the rear doors. We will start with the left rear door. When the lock is positioned this low, we will encounter reinforced plates. The 2 holes at the bottom will have a blue sealing compound behind them and a reinforced plate. The upper 2 holes will have a reinforced plate behind the outer one. The sheet ends somewhere around here, so be careful not to hit the edge, as the drill may bounce upwards. Therefore, drill very carefully. When we drilled down here, we had a lot of reinforced plates and some blue sealing fittings. If the lock had been positioned higher up, as we recommended at the beginning, it would have only been an outer plate without reinforced plates. Open the right rear door there before you start drilling the hole. Use a smaller drill on the right rear door and only drill the outer metal of the hole furthest to the right. Drill the other 3 holes all the way through. Change the drill to 6.5 meter ones and drill these 3 holes through to 6.5. The hole farthest to the right will be drilled to 7.5 later. But now we are drilling this, and this hole to 6.5 through. Drill the second hole from the top on the left rear to 6.5 millimeters, going all the way through the outer metal, the reinforced metal, and right through the entire pillar. Change the drill to 7.5 millimeters and drill the hole farthest to the right on the right rear door to 7.5 millimeter, only the outer metal. Be careful not to tear the metal on the inside. The metal is behind here, so there should be no penetrations. The inside of the pillar is directly behind this. Change the drill to 9 millimeters. Drill the other 3 holes, that is, the top one, the third from the top, and the fourth from the top to 9 millimeters. Drill the outer metal and the reinforced metal, but not through the pillar. Usually, when you have an emergency button, you tend to center it against where the hole is for the lock. On this car, we have a reinforced metal plate inside the cavity that prevents us from passing a wire to this button. So, on this car, we will lead the emergency wire up and out through a hole here and just have a loop. It is a special solution for this customer. But when you install the lock at the height we recommend, you place the button inside the post at the level of the middle hole. So, when that hole is positioned up here, you can pull the cable through just as usual. One should look at the installation of an emergency switch on a Ford Custom from 2013 to 2023. In this particular clip about how to install an emergency switch, for today, we will not be doing that in this installation. The hold fittings are finished on the rear doors. Now we will remove the drill templates and deburr all the holes. We start with the body side of the final sheet metal. For the 3 lower holes, we only drill the outer metal. There is air behind. In the top hole, there will be a reinforced plate. Drill through the outer plate and the reinforced plate carefully. Behind the reinforced plate, there is the plate for the pillar on the inside. So it is very important that you only drill through the outer layer and the reinforced part, and not into the car. Then open the side door before you start drilling. Drill all 3 holes in the side door all the way through. Change the drill to 6.5 millimeter and drill all 3 holes in the side door to 6.5 and through. Drill all the holes in the body part to 6.5 millimeter. Today we will increase this to 9 millimeter. Change the drill to 9 millimeters 1. Drill all 4 holes in the body to 9. Now remember that the hole at the top here must not be drilled into the body. So we drill the outer metal very carefully, a bit of the reinforced metal very carefully, and as soon as 1 centimeter of the drill has come in, 1.5. Then the rivet will fit and we can stop drilling so that we don't create a hole into the interior of the body. The other 3 holes, this is just air, just drill as usual. Now we will remove the drilling templates and bevel both the inside and outside of the door and the outside of the body part. Also, slightly bevel the inside of the side door with an angle grinder. Inject protective wax into all cavities, that is, on the body side and down into the door side, to catch the drill shavings that have fallen down when we drilled. Take a lax pin or rust protection primer and paint all the surfaces. Now that we have painted, we will attach the nut rivets. On the back door, we have 3 short fluted rivets that we use in the top, 3rd and 4th holes from the top. This is due to the fact that we have reinforced plates. If the lock has been installed higher up and we only have air behind the outer plate, then we can use the long split rivet instead. However, when we have reinforced plate, we use the short fluted rivet in all 3 holes. When we are going to install the rivet to the end plate on the side door, we use a split rivet in the 3 bottom holes and a fluted rivet in the top one. Take out the black gaiters and stick them on. Follow the hole, drilling on the side door, and try to ensure that the one on the body part goes a little above and a little below, as it is longer than the right gaiter. We continue with the back doors and stick on the black gaiters. Prepare a thread locking that is weak or medium strength and apply a dot to all the rivets. Use A-strength Loctite. Now we will start installing the locks on the doors. We begin with the left back door. Take a shim, 2 screws with a ball head and 2 small washers, and secure them in the top and bottom holes. Take out an end plate, a long screw, and a short screw with a countersunk head that is 25 millimeters. Fix the 25 in the hole down there in the rivet and pass the long screw right through the entire post. Take a large washer and a high-profile nut and meet at the back post on the left rear there. Don't tighten too much, or we will crimp the outer plate. The leftover piece is on the long screw on the left back door. Repeat the step on the side door for the end plate. Take out a shim, 2 screws with a ball head, and 2 small washers, and secure them in the top and bottom rivet. Take a final ink, 2 screws with a countersunk head, 25 millimeter long, and secure them in the other 2 rivets on the side door. Take out a bottom plate and cut off the tab at the height of the elevation there. Since we do not have an emergency cable on the side door, we will not have it, so we will cut it off. For fastening on the side door, we will take a shim, a bottom plate, a screw that is 25 millimeter long with a countersunk head, a large washer, and a low-profile nut. Screw it so that just one thread passes through the locking mechanism on the low-profile outlet. Then it is perfectly tensioned. Take out a lock without an emergency cable. Manually lock the bolt with your hand. Place the lock to the right of the bottom plate. Press with your left hand to angle out the bottom plate to get behind it. Once the lock is secured, you can then slide it to the left until it clicks into place. Once the lock has slid into place, open the lock with the key and close the door to check that everything is secure. So, it is the centering here against the bottom plate that we are checking. If we need to move anything, it is easier to do it before we secure the lock. Take out 2 screws with a rounded head and apply Loctite. Use 2 small washers and secure them from the inside out. Close the door and test to ensure everything is working as it should. Usually, when you have a nerd wire in a car, you use this plastic button. We couldn't have that when the lock is located at the bottom of the back door. If we have the lock higher up, we can fixate it at that height and perform a completely normal nerd wire installation. But today, we are going to do a special one. What we will do is lead this plastic tube through the hole that is 7.5 millimeters on the outside. We will fish it up through this small service hatch and pull it out through this hole. This car will only have a loose cable that is fixed to the post instead of a plastic button. Insert a plastic piece through the 7.5 millimeter hole. This does not come with the box. From here inside, we see what it shows up. Fish it up through the hole here. We can pass the emergency cable through this hole in the plastic tube to get it out on the inside of the post. Take out a shim, a bottom plate, a screw that is 25 millimeter long with a countersunk head, a large nut, and a large washer. Thread the wire through the bottom plate and the shim, and then carefully feed it through the plastic tube that we have securely secured. Once the cable has been fed through, secure the bottom plate through the door and pull it through. And a high-profile nut. And carefully tighten the screw, gently tighten the screw so that it just finishes at height, while the nut finishes slowly and precisely until it is secure. The screw should not pass through the locking of the nuts, but should end exactly flush with the nut. Once you have pulled out the wolf, hold it in a tense position while attaching the lock to the bottom plate. It is important that the wolf does not get pinched. Check that the wolf functions satisfactorily. 2 screws, pull in the head, lock tight and secure from the inside. Test it works as it should, the emergency cable. In this special solution, where we do not have an emergency cable, we choose to secure the wolf up here. We place a plastic piece with double-sided tape, and then we will strap this down. Has used all the surfaces of the car and the oil locks. The oil locks safely. When the installation is complete, we will leave the user manual and keys in the passenger seat of the car.